Hey guys, so yesterday I was actually asked a great question. Is Randy, you do all this life coaching, you do business coaching, you do executive life coaching, and these different forms, and you challenge us all the time to think differently so we can do differently. And then the question came up of what is your daily routines? And so I thought I'd take on the assignment and share a few thoughts at least. So here goes. Number one is I like to keep things very simple. Simple means like I used to think in terms I needed to work out for like an hour a day, I needed to read for 30 minutes, that kind of stuff. And then when the phone would ring and emails or people needed different things, or I was just lazy on some of those cases, I found myself being disappointed in myself and stopping the routine and the power of habit, if you will. So in that process, I learned to simplify. So for example, is in reading, I do read every single day, and in that process, I commit to reading one paragraph. Oftentimes, most of the time, that one paragraph turns into, a full page, chapters, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is. But in that process, even if I just read one paragraph, I feel very successful in my routine. Same thing with working out. I used to think I needed to work out for 60 minutes, and now I actually commit to I'm going to work out for 4 minutes. And in that 4 minutes, I can run a half a mile, I can do push-ups, I can do different things. But in that 4 minutes, that often turns into a full-on workout. It turns into a day of skiing, a day of road biking or mountain biking or something like that. And in that process, it works for me just to keep it very, very simple. And even in the routines when I do only 4 minutes a day for weeks on end, I still feel successful. But more than that is it's amazing what you can get done in just a few minutes a day. So in that process of waking up, one of my other routines is, unless I need to set an alarm clock to meet a specific time frame or something like that, I usually just let my body sleep whatever it needs to sleep. And generally speaking, for me, that's somewhere between 5.5 to 6 hours. Sometimes, some days, I get 8 hours of sleep. But whatever my body needs, I just let it sleep. And then when I wake up, I do two very quick, simple, meditative processes. One is what I call the prayer of gratitude, where I take a moment and I think about 2 to 5 different things that I'm just very grateful for. And sometimes that takes me 12 seconds, sometimes that takes me minutes, but really rarely does it take me very long to just express gratitude in my heart and a place of love for the things that I'm blessed with. The other thing that I do is I kind of do a check-in with myself. And I just check in and I ask myself, what does my body need? What does my soul need? What does my mind need today? And with that check-in, I also ask the question of, what's the most important thing I can do today to complete my tutorial or my goals or my dreams? And sometimes it's very me-centered. It's very directed at things that I need to do to put my own oxygen mask on. And other times it's actually, I get these just moments of inspiration or thoughts or feelings that, you know what, call that high school friend, or send a text message to so-and-so, or check in on somebody, or you know what, this organization might need some funding or a donation or something like that to bless them in their cause. Look them up and find them and do what you're going to do. So I just kind of literally do this check-in and say, what do I need to do today? What do I need to further my life and my goals along with that? So this sounds really silly, but another daily habit, I make my bed. My wife and I, Laura, we are in sync with this, but one way or the other, we make our bed every single day. It seems silly, but there's something about the attention to detail, about fluffing the sheets, the way we put our pillows, making the bed spread, putting up the little pretty fluffy pillows on our bed and all that kind of stuff. That is an attention to detail that says I'm ready to begin my day, and not only that, but I'm going to be warmly received at the end of my day. And so making my bed, it's something that's part of my daily habits, as you will. Another daily habit is I do check the news, and I do check in with what's happening in the world. But generally speaking, out of like 365 days a year, on average, I bet you there's 3 days a year that I really delve into the news. Overall, I just check, is there any world wars, any crises, anything that's going to get me or something I need to know about? And other than that, I find that the news as a general rule is actually a low energy source for me. So I do check it, and I am fairly in sync with what's happening throughout the world. I can pontificate about it and everything else. But one of the things I do is I actually protect myself from too much of the news media drama of the world. Social media is another place that's interesting. Is I actually really enjoy certain forms of social media, Facebook or whatever, but it's not the way that you would think. Is on my, like for example, Facebook, we have a family page, and I love seeing what's happening with the grandkids, with my nieces, my nephews, my sister, my mom, my cousins, or whatever, and it's all done on a private Facebook page, so the whole world doesn't get to see it, but we get to share in each other's lives. And I enjoy taking a few moments each day just to check the page, see what's happening, what pictures are being shared, and so forth. That goes along with my personal goals and my dream board and so forth. So it actually works really well. Essentialism. Another part of my daily routine is when I make my task list, I actually put it down into categories, and my task list is based on what is essential for me to do, but what do I really want to do? What is my passion? What's my place that I'm going to produce some results and things like that? And it's kind of weeding in and weeding out what is most important in my life. So I have a whole process around that. There's a book called Essentialism that I recommend for people that are struggling with prioritizing their life and so forth. But it's good. I already talked about reading and working out, but yes, those are part of my daily routines. Another, it might seem a little silly to some people, but my father passed away, here recently. And so part of my daily routines is actually checking in on my mom. And it's a text message, it's a phone call, and we also play Words with Friends, usually every morning and every night. And so I just get on my phone and play Scrabble or Words with Friends with my mom. But it's my way of connecting with her, and while I can never replace my father, they were married for 54 years, dated a year before that, so they had about 55 years of life together. And I can't replace my father, but I can make it part of my daily routine of habits of success to check in on her. Another piece that I like to do is I love TED Talks, I love podcasts, I love anything that's going to inspire me and make me think and make me dwell. Most TED Talks are 12 to 18 minutes long. And that really works well for me, is I just pick something. I just say that's an interesting topic, and I just listen to it while I do my daily routines or whatever. Another thing that I like to do is I start off every morning with my water, and most of the time I either add lemon, and sometimes it's lemon, and you can use different products. I've used different ones, but they're supplements. They're called greens. But just adding something to my diet right from the very beginning of the day, so that I feel like I'm hydrating my body. I keep my body fairly hydrated because I feel like my physical health, my energy, my mental health, and everything else, plus flushing out the toxins and things like that, are also essential and very important. So with that, now let's go back to the very part where you wake up, the prayer of gratitude, and then the check-in. In the check-in, what are the most important things I can do today? Is there something I need to do in my own oxygen mask? Is there something or somebody that might need my help or my guidance today? Is there something I need to do for planet Earth, or whatever it might be? In that check-in, I've learned to rely on my instincts, on spirit, on my gut, if you will. And in that part of the checking in with myself, I kind of know what I need to do for my own body, for my own health, what foods I need to put into myself, what I need to do for exercise, whether or not I need to spend more time outdoors, whether or not I need to read more, or whatever it is. In that check-in process, I usually just instinctively know. So I used to do this thing where like Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays I had a routine, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays I had a routine, and I made Sunday a different routine and so forth. And I used to try to follow that religiously, if you will. And now I don't do that. I actually rely on my gut instincts. So lastly is I learned to protect myself in the early morning hours and late evening hours. And that's very important to protect. It's not only protecting myself and not getting too overly involved with work-related things or the wrong task or whatever, but it's allowing myself time to do these morning and evening rituals, if you will. And part of those morning and evening rituals also include my lovely lady, my bride. And, you know, we take time every morning, which could be a whole nother video by itself, but we take some time every morning, every evening, and throughout the day, and we have our own way of doing check-ins with each other. I usually wake up earlier than she does, and when she wakes up, you know, we just spend a few moments. We call it cuddle time. Sometimes it's literally 30 seconds, sometimes it's 3 minutes, sometimes it's a half an hour, but we just check in. How'd you sleep? How are your dreams? You know, what do you got going on today? What's important to you? Anything I need to know? And it's a very simple, it's very natural. It's not like checklist at all, but it's a very, very important part of my daily rituals, because in my daily rituals, if you go into my tutorial or my consciousness engineering, if you will, I can take everything down to love, family, health, wealth, being a contributor, and living life to the fullest through experiences. And part of that love starts with loving myself and loving and waking up and even being in a place of gratitude to say, I love my beautiful lady every single day, and checking in with her as part of that partnership. So anyway, you get the general idea. I mix and match all the time. I follow my gut instinct, but I can promise you that pretty much every single day I have my routines. They work for me. Hopefully I've inspired you to think about yours. Thank you.